Hello students, this is Dr. Rajneesh Kumar, Associate Professor at Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pharmacy Institute, Greater Noida. So, I am again in front of you bringing another topic of the heterocyclic compounds, which belongs to the third unit of the pharmaceutical organic chemistry. Subject code is 401T. So, in the previous lecture, we have discussed about the nomenclature and the classification of heterocyclic compounds and chemical reactions, synthesis, medicinal use and the structure of furan and pyrrole. So, in the continuation of those heterocyclic compounds, we are now coming to the next compound, that is thiophene. Okay. So, in this lecture, we will discuss thiophene structure, properties and the synthesis. So, like furan and pyrrole, thiophene is also a 5-member heterocyclic compound. Furan, thiophene, so you can just compare. Okay. So, furan, pyrrole both are 5-member heterocyclic compounds. Thiophene is also a 5-member heterocyclic compounds. In case of furan, oxygen is present as a heteroatom. In case of pyrrole, nitrogen is present as a heteroatom, while in case of thiophene, sulfur is present as a heteroatom. Okay. So, when we have gone through the molecular weight determination and elemental analysis, we have found that the thiophene has the molecular formula C4H4S, means it has 4 carbon, 4 hydrogen and 1 sulfur atom. The possible structure of thiophene, considering the tetravalency of the carbon atoms and the bivalency of the sulfur, we can say that as per the molecular formula, the structure of thiophene should be like this. Okay. It means a 5-member ring containing sulfur, 4 carbon is there and all the carbons are sp2 hybridized. Okay. Now come to the structure. So, before going to discuss about the structure, I would like to tell you that as we have seen, pyrrole was an anaromatic compounds, furan was also an aromatic compounds. So, like pyrrole and furan, thiophene is also an aromatic compounds. Okay. So, you now know what are the conditions required for the aromaticity. So, 3 or 4 conditions are there. Number 1, molecule should be planar. Okay. Number 2, presence of conjugation and p orbitals. P orbital should be overlapped, and number 3, it followed Huckel's rule, that is 4 and 2 pi rules. Okay. If any compounds are following these 3 or 4 conditions, you can say that that particular compound is aromatic. So, the proposed structure of thiophene is also considered as an aromatic compound, since it follows all the conditions along with the Huckel's rule, that is 4 and plus 2 pi electrons. The aromatic nature and the extra stability of thiophene is also supported by the formation of its different resonating structure. So, we have discussed that point before, that if any compounds has resonating structure, okay, resonating structure, the stability of that particular compound will directly proportional to the number of resonating structure, means the more is the resonating structure, more is the stability of that particular compound. So, you can see there sulfur as a heteroatom is present, which is also having the lone pair, and these are all means these lone pair can be delocalized into the ring. So, you like this. Okay. Just a minute. So, yeah, this lone pair will be moved towards here. At the same time, these pi electrons will be moved at the position 3. So, we will generate this particular resonating structure. After that, what happened? This is going towards here and this is going towards here. We are generating the next resonating structure. After that, what is happening? After that, what is happening? You can see here and here. Okay. So, next resonating structure will be generated. Okay. So, likewise this. Okay. So, thiophene is having 5 resonating structure. By that you can say that it is a very stable compounds. Now, the delocalization of the lone pair of the sulfur in furan through conjugation also suggests that the thiophene molecule should have the planar geometry. Okay. This is only possible when the orbitals of the carbon and sulfur in the thiophene are sp2 hybridized. So, we know that we already know that when I am saying that thiophene is an aromatic compound. So, it should have a planar structure. So, how this is having actually like this. Okay. So, this carbon is sp2 hybridized, this is also 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 sp2 hybridized and this is also sp2 hybridized. And we know that if the atoms of the compound is also sp2 hybridized, then that compound is having the planar structure. Okay. And how the structure of this looking like this. Okay. Carbon, all the 4 carbon of the thiophene ring is sp2 hybridized. Okay. And that is overlapping in such a manner, means like this. I am just okay. Here is the H. So, one is moving towards. So, one sp2 hybridized orbital of the carbon, one carbon is overlapping with the s orbital of the hydrogen. Remaining 2 sp2 hybridized orbital will be overlapping with the sp2 hybridized orbital of the neighboring carbon. Okay. So, all the 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals are involved in the overlapping with the neighboring 2 carbon and 1 hydrogen. So, there is 1 p orbitals also in case of carbon, which is having 1 electrons, okay, like this. So, all the carbon is having 1 orbital which is having 1 electron. Sulfur is also having p orbital, but in case of sulfur there are 2 electrons. There are 2 electrons. Okay. So, you can say that in case of thiophene total 6 pi electrons are there, 2 is present, 2 are present in the p orbital of the sulfur, while 1 carbon atom is present in the p orbital of the each 4 carbon of the thiophene ring. So, total 6 pi electrons are there, and because 6 pi electrons are there, it will be fulfill the Huckel's rule, that is 4 n plus 2 is equal to 6, n is equal to 1 and 1 is an integer number. So, it will be fulfilling the Huckel's rule. Okay. Now, here you can see the structure very clearly. sp2, this is the, these are the p orbitals of the carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All the p orbitals of the carbon is having 1 electron, you can see. Okay. And sulfur is also having p orbital, but that p orbital is having 2 electrons. To total select 6 pi electrons are there. Okay. Okay. So, similarity is I am just reading it out. each sp2 hybridized carbons form 2 p bonds with the neighboring atoms. As I told you before, the unhybridized orbital of each carbon contain 1 electron. These unhybridized orbitals of carbon and sulfur form a delocalized electron clouds above and below, same like the benzene ring, like the pyrrole, like the furan. You can see this is the ring of the thiophene, which is a planar. So, because of the presence of the p orbitals of carbon and the sulfur. So, and you know that these p orbitals are overlapping with each other like this. So, by the overlapping of these p orbitals, there is a formation of clouds above and below of the ring of the thiophene. Because of the presence of that particular electron clouds, electrophilic substitution reactions will be preferred. Now, come to the physical properties of the thiophene. So, it is a colorless liquid like pyrrole and furan. Okay. Colorless liquid, boiling point of thiophene is 357 degrees, 357 Kelvin. It smells like a benzene, and it is soluble in alcohol and ether, but is insoluble in water. So, just compare the physical properties of the pyrrole, furan and thiophene. Pyrrole is also colorless until it will explode to the air. After the reaction with oxygen in the air, it will become brown or black. Furan is colorless totally, thiophene is also colorless. Boiling point of thiophene is 357 Kelvin, it smells like a benzene. And when I am talking about the solubility, I told you that furan and pyrrole is also soluble in alcohol and ether, but insoluble or slightly soluble in water. Here thiophene is totally insoluble in water. Now, come to the chemical properties of the thiophene. So, thiophene is an aromatic compound and more reactive than the benzene. Because of the aromatic nature, thiophene gives the all characteristic reaction, mainly electrophilic substitution reaction of the aromatic compound, such as halogenation, nitrogen, and the same reactions I told you many times now, that is halogenation, sulfonation, nitration, Friedel-Crafts acylation, alkylation, all the reactions will be given by the thiophene. So, similar to pyrrole and furan, thiophene also undergo electrophilic substitution reaction at the position 2. Why? The same manner. Okay? The reason is same. The attack of the electrophile on the position 2 will provide the more stable intermediate carbocations. Okay. Now, coming to the one more important topic, that is method of preparation of the thiophene. कैसे बना सकते हैं हम थ्योफिन? सो very easy reactions are there for the preparation of thiophene. You just remember, because all of the reactions are simply one step and very you can say small. So, in the first reaction you can see, एक चीज़ ध्यान रखिएगा, जब हम थियोफिन की बात करेंगे तो हमको 4 कार्बन चाहिए और एक सल्फर चाहिए होगा. तो हम वैसे ही रिएक्टेंट लेंगे जहाँ से हमको आराम से 4 कार्बन मिल जाए एक चेन के अंदर और एक सल्फर मिल जाए. तो वी नीड द चेन ऑफ कार्बन containing 4 carbon, okay, or a reactant which will donate the sulfur. Okay. So, here you can see we are having butane. So, butane when heated with the sulfur, okay, sulfur at very high temperature, imagine that is 923 Kelvin. Okay. So, very simple reaction is there, we will heating N-butane with the elemental sulfur and we are getting thiophene as a product. So, it is a simplest method of preparation for the thiophene. Now, come to the next method, that is laboratory method, which we have followed in our lab. So, here sodium succinate is heated with the phosphorus sulphide. Okay. Here you can see sodium succinate is heated with the phosphorus sulphide and we are getting thiophene. So, again you can see 4 carbon is there, okay, which will provide the 4 carbon of the thiophene, okay, and P2S3, that is phosphorus sulphide will be acting as a donor of the sulfur in the ring. Okay. So, very simple. Now, come to the next. The third is industrial method. Okay. So, in large scale thiophene is prepared by the reaction of acetylene and H2S, okay, hydrogen sulfide. How? When acetylene is a gas, you know that. So, when acetylene is passed with hydrogen sulfide through a tube containing alumina Al2O3 at high temperature near about 673 Kelvin, we are getting thiophene. So, again you can see we are using 2 molecule of acetylene, okay. Acetylene having 2 carbon. When we are using 2 molecules, so total 4 carbon atom is involved from the acetylene, and H2S will be providing the sulfur of the thiophene. So, 4 carbon coming from the acetylene and sulfur is coming from the hydrogen sulfide. When both are passing through the alumina at very high temperature, that is 673 Kelvin. Okay. So, thiophene we are getting. Now, come to the next important reaction which we have also discussed in case of furan and thiophene, that is Pahl-Knorr synthesis. So, I told you in the lecture where we are discussing about the synthesis of the pyrrole in the starting. So, at that time I told you, please remember that Pahl-Knorr synthesis will be very important, as it is being used for the synthesis of furan, thiophene and the pyrrole, that is 5 member heterocyclic compounds containing 1 heteroatom. So, I told you that you can use a simple 1,4 diketones like this. Just a minute. एक 1,4 diketone like this, 1,4 diketone. Okay. So, we can use 1,4 diketone as a starting products when, and that 1,4 diketone will provide the 4 carbon atom required in the preparation of thiophene ring. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. And you will need a donor of the sulfur. So, here we are using P2S5, which will provide sulfur of the thiophene ring. So, here you can also use derivative of 1,4 diones, okay, that is hexane 2,5 diones we are using. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 6. So, hexane 2,5 diones are using. So, the only difference that we are getting a that is methyl group at 2 and 5th position, because we are using here 2 and at branched derivatives of ions. Okay. When we are using simple like this, plus P2S5 heat minus H2O is there. So, at that time we simply have thiophene as a product. So, the next important method for the preparation of thiophene is Hinsberg synthesis. Okay. In Hinsberg synthesis, you can see again dicarbonyl compounds are involved, okay, and thiodiacetate is involved. Both are reacting in the presence of base. The 2 moles of the water will be removed and we are getting thiophene diketones. So, in Hinsberg synthesis, condensation between 1,2 dicarbonyl compounds occur with the diethyl thiodiacetate in the presence of a strong base gives thiophene 2,5 diacid, that is sometimes triketones. Okay. So, here you can see the application when I am talking about 1,2 dicarbonyl compounds. So, here instead of methyl group we are using phenyl group, the compounds become benzyl. So, benzyl when reacting with the diethyl thiodiacetate, the same reaction occur, okay, and 2 moles of water molecules will be removed as condensation occur in between these two molecules. Okay. The whole reaction is happening in the presence of tertiary butoxides or potassium tertiary butoxides, and we are getting substituted thiophene. So, the type of thiophene which we will get in the last of the reaction will depend on the benzyl, okay, as well as diethyl thiodiacetate. If we change this by some other substitution, we will get the different substituted thiophene as a result. Okay. So, this is all about the structure, reactions and the method of preparations. Sorry, this is all about the method of preparation, properties and the structure. So, before ending this lecture, I am just again want to make you remember about the structure of thiophene. So, like this, or you just please go through the here. So, there is a space actually. So, that is why I am coming here. So, this is the thiophene. I am saying that each of the carbon is having p orbital like this, okay, and each p orbitals having 1 electron in case of carbon. In case of sulfur, this is having 2 electrons, okay, and all the p orbitals are overlapping with each other like this. Okay, like this. And one more thing, carbon is having 3 sp2 hybridized orbital. So, 1 sp2 hybridized orbital is this is hydrogen. Okay. So, like this, these are overlapping, second is there and third is there. So, these are the 3 sp2 hybridized orbital which are overlapping with the sp2 hybridized orbital of the neighboring. Okay. This is H, okay, or this is like this. Okay. So, like this overlapping is happening in case of thiophene. Okay. So, this is easy to understand for you. So, I hope that you will understand all the structure, aromatic character and the properties of the thiophene as well as the method of preparation. So, in the next lecture we will discuss about the reaction of thiophene as well as their medicinal use. So, thank you so much students. We will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.